December 8th, federal prosecutors in Texas unsealed documents that revealed an investigation into a massive smuggling network that stretched across the United States and around the world, dubbed Operation Gatekeeper by the feds. The investigation wasn't focused on drug smuggling or stolen goods, but rather an alleged secret underground network of suppliers for Nvidia's graphic processing units, or GPUs. Eamon Javers joins us with a follow-up on that story. Hi, Eamon.
Hey there, Contessa. You're right. The government said a hidden smuggling ring was sending chips to China in defiance of American national security export control laws. The smuggling syndicate allegedly involved operatives illegally entering the United States, phony front companies, and a secret warehouse shipping operation in New Jersey that was penetrated by at least one undercover agent working on behalf of the U.S. government. Now, here's how the operation allegedly worked. That empty office space in Sugar Land, Texas, ostensibly served as the headquarters for a company that was actually run out of an individual residence in nearby Missouri City, Texas. Federal prosecutors allege that the company purchased Nvidia components from an American electronics firm and then shipped them to Singapore and then on to Hong Kong. In another case, a Houston-based company allegedly purchased computer components from a firm in Southborough, Massachusetts, shipped them to a logistics facility in Secaucus, New Jersey, where they were relabeled with a phony company name and shipped to a New York warehouse. Paperwork suggested the components would then be shipped on to Australia. An Nvidia spokesperson told CNBC that the U.S. government's export control process is rigorous and comprehensive. Even sales of older generation products on the secondary market are subject to strict scrutiny and review, the Nvidia spokesperson said. While millions of controlled GPUs are in services at businesses, homes, and schools, we will continue to work with the government and our customers to ensure that secondhand smuggling does not occur. And on the same day that federal prosecutors announced this investigation, Contessa, President Trump made a social media post that could undermine the whole operation. Trump said on Truth Social that the United States would now allow Nvidia's H200 GPUs, the most powerful GPUs seized by authorities in Operation Gatekeeper, to be exported to China. Trump said those exports would be allowed, provided that the U.S. received a 25% cut of the sales. And the president added that Nvidia's most advanced AI chips, the Blackwell and Rubin GPUs, are still not authorized for export. So that throws federal prosecutors' case into some question here. Defense attorneys for the men charged have said in court filings that the government's claim that this alleged smuggling threatened national security can't be right because the president is allowing it to happen. Contessa, back over to you.
That's got to be frustrating for the prosecutors and for the investigators who went after this. Isn't the problem in the first place the smuggling, like labeling boxes falsely for export? Seems like that would be criminal.
Yeah, it's a surprisingly low-tech smuggling operation for a high-tech product. What the allegation in this case says is that there was this facility in New Jersey, in Secaucus, in a warehouse, where Chinese operatives were going in, taking these Nvidia GPUs, and simply slapping fake labels on top of the GPUs. So they had a fake company they called Sankayan. That Sankayan label was just slapped on top of the Nvidia label, and then they changed the bill of lading descriptions of what these items actually were to sort of nonsensical terms to try to fool export control officials at the point of embarkation. So, clearly it's old-fashioned, low-tech smuggling. I mean, this is right out of like a prohibition, whiskey run. But in this case, this is Nvidia GPUs going to China.
Do you know, I mean, Nvidia chips have just been in such high demand. We've talked a lot about whether there's enough supply. How did the smuggling operation get hold of these GPUs in the first place?
They seem to have purchased them from resellers of Nvidia gear, right? So they don't seem to be purchasing them directly from Nvidia, but from other third-party companies. Now, it's not clear in the documents because oftentimes they're referred to just as Company 1 and Company 2, so you don't know exactly who they're referring to. But a lot of this seems to be more or less legitimate purchasing activity by a company that's on its face based in Houston, for example, and then in reality that company is shipping them offshore, even though sending documents and certification to the original sellers saying this is for legitimate U.S.-based purposes, and then out the back door it goes to China.
Eamon Javers, thank you for bringing us that update. Appreciate it.